Hello, thank you for joining me today. This is Artful with Michelle. Today we're going to paint a Valentine heart tree, and I am using a 9x12 stretched and primed canvas, and you will also need a plate for your paints or whatever your palette, and a water basin. For my brushes, I'm going to be using a large flat. Okay, this is a 1-inch. I also have a round brush, a number 6, and I have a 1/2 inch flat and a 1/4 inch flat. I also have a pencil. Alright, so we're going to start with our background today. Oh, our colors. I am using student grade liquid acrylic today, and use your favorite paints, okay? If you have tube acrylics or liquid, use your favorite that you have on hand. We're going to use Cobalt Blue, Burnt Umber, Mars Black, Titanium White, Chrome Orange, Phthalo Red, and Deep Red. And if I add anything else as we go, I will let you know. So we're going to start with our large flat brush. We're going to get it nice and wet in the water. I usually touch my brush to my paper towel, and I'm going to mix some of the blue and the brown because I want to get a more subtle blue for this sky. I'm going to add a little bit of white and see if I come up with a... Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for right there. And I am just going to start by putting in my background. I'm going to add a lot more white to that. I don't want a really strong background today. And I do my background like this with the motion of the letter X overlapping itself again and again. I'm going to add a lot more white. This will go on quickly. As we come down, I'm going to let it get lighter by adding more white, and I always go back up into my other color and just lightly blend using a very light touch. As it dries, you can come in also and add a little bit more color if it doesn't cover as well as you'd like. So again, I'm going to make mine lighter as it comes down to the ground. All right. A little dried piece of paint. Sometimes that happens. Just take your brush, grab it, wipe it on your towel, and just keep on going. If you want it smooth, you can go back over and make your brush just pull the paint in one direction. I just want mine to kind of overlap and just be like a fluffy background sky. Okay. So that little bit of brown really tones that blue down and makes it more of a softer, warmer tone. Okay, I'm going to take a moment to blow dry this, and we'll be right back. Okay, everything is dry, so now I'm going to paint in a canopy of hearts because this is a Valentine tree. So what I want to do is just come in and draw a bunch of random hearts. So use your own touch. I'm also going to overlap. I'm not going to draw all of them. I'm just going to put in a few as a point of reference. Okay. So my tree is going to be here on the left, and I'm going to have my branches coming up with lots of hearts over here. Okay, so I'm going to draw an overlapping one just to kind of show you, and I will put a traceable down below also. But really, I think if you just randomly put some hearts in there, this is going to be the background. Okay, I'll get some more drawn. Maybe something up here. Now maybe turn your canvas so that you can draw some that are upside down. Okay. And let's see, my tree will be here. So I want a few hanging down over here as well. And we'll see how this develops. I haven't painted this yet, so it's developing in front of you. And we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to use my small flat brush. I always wet in my water and touch my brush on my paper towel. I'm going to mix some of my burnt umber with some deep red. And I'm going to make like a burgundy color. You can also use black. I'll show you, take a tiny bit of black in with that. And what that does is it just changes the tone of that color and makes it more of a burgundy. So I am just going to come in. We're going to keep this one really simple today. And I am just going to base coat the hearts. So again, this is deep red plus some burnt umber and a tiny bit of black. I like to turn my painting. If you watch me frequently, you'll know that I turn my canvas around in different directions because I feel like it's easier for us to get our hand in there from a certain direction. So why not let your canvas help you with that rather than trying to twist your wrist all different ways. Okay, so I like that color a lot. And I'm going to do some random hearts in that color. I also like to make my hearts a little bit lopsided. Sometimes I intentionally, like on this one, I'm going to bring the left side up higher. So I'm going to come up, maybe even a little higher than that. And then come in from this side. Okay. So go ahead and paint some of the hearts in your red, and then we'll layer other colors. Again, I just try to smooth my colors out, smooth my paint out. If you come at it from the side and learn how to use your brush to smooth that paint out, it'll give you a nice edge. Okay, as it dries, it's easy to come in and add a little bit of a second layer sometimes. These paints are not super opaque. They have a little bit of a transparency to them. If you use one of the higher grade tube acrylics, you might get a better coverage in one coat. And let's do one up here. I'm going to make this side go up. Sometimes you might find it easier to just eyeball the hearts and just kind of paint them freehand without drawing. Everyone's different when it comes to that, so you want to do what's comfortable for you. So this time I just went into just the deep red without any of the brown or black in it, and it's going to be brighter, but it will take a second layer. Smooth that out. I'm going to go up higher on the right this time. So we'll do another bright one here. Okay. And I'm going to do a bright red one up here in the corner. So this is just the deep red. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take some of the phthalo red, which is actually a pink color, and I'm going to paint this one. Again, we're going to have to put a second color on that, second layer. I do really love the muted blue background. I like that a lot. All right. So that's straight phthalo red. We're going to keep this design super, super beginner simple. I'm not going to do a lot of shading and highlighting. I'm just going to add it with some brush strokes. So now for this little heart, I'm going to take my phthalo red and a little bit of white, and I'm going to make a pretty light pink. And I'm going to go ahead and paint this one in the light pink. Now whenever you add white, your color will cover a little bit better. And if you're ever painting against a dark background, it's a good idea to base coat the item in white first and then come in with your color so it will pop against your background. All right, so I like that a lot. I'm going to do this little heart here in a pale pink also with lots of white. So I really like that. That is, it's almost looking variegated. I'm trying to go from this angle so I don't keep flipping the canvas around on you. Okay, let's put a couple more of those really light pink ones in there. I'm going to overlap. So even though this one here is already painted, I'm going to paint an additional heart that goes right in front of it. And that pink was still wet, so it kind of grabbed some of it and blended it into the heart. And I'm going to overlap it on the darker heart also. All right, super cute. I'm liking that. And let's see, let's put one here. Again, when I'm done with this, I will create a traceable for you. So if you want to trace all the hearts, you can. I think it's easier to overlap like this if you just freehand it. So you could do your back hearts and then come in and draw the front hearts on top if you're not comfortable with just painting. Okay, so that's adding a lot of pop of color, pop of brightness. All right, where else would we like it? I'm going to put one right here. Just try to keep it smooth. Turn this around. right here. Just going to smooth that out. Okay, got a little dot of paint there. I want to fix the point. I want it to be more pointed, so I'm going to end up touching the other heart. So you can keep looking at this and deciding how you want to change up your shades. I'm going to mix a little bit more of the phthalo red, which is actually a pinkish color, and some white. And I want one here, but I'm going to angle it in a different direction. So I'm going to flip this around. Again, I'm thinking this through while you're watching. And the traceable will have all these hearts for you. It's like a canopy of leaves, but it's hearts. So cute. I want to straighten this one right here out. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, let's turn this around and see how that's looking. Okay, so that's a pretty good canopy. Okay, so now we're going to dry it and draw the tree. So I'm just going to dry these hearts a little bit. All right. Okay, so we're going to have a tree trunk over here that comes up and kind of branches out onto our hearts, and the branches are going to be in front where we can see them. So I'm going to grab my pencil, and I'm envisioning a tree that kind of runs off the canvas on this side. So I'm going to draw about a little below halfway here. I'm going to put my pencil and I'm going to draw a curved line that comes down, and I'm going to have it come about a ½ inch from the bottom. I'm going to come down, I'm going to curve my line and attach it there. Up in here we'll develop the branches as we go. I'm going to come up from down here, so I'm about 1.5 to 2 inches from this corner. I'm going to go ahead and draw the rest of that. Okay, so we have a basic trunk there, just like the trees you've always drawn since you were a little kid. And I'm going to create the branches, and I'm going to let them go right on top of our beautiful hearts. And a lot of it we're going to develop with the paintbrush, so I'm not going to draw any more than that. You can put your traceable on and add that on top if you'd like. And now I'm going to take my small flat brush. I'm going to do the ½ inch flat brush. I'm going to grab some straight black, and I am just going to paint in the black tree trunk. Now if you want to make this here, I'll make it a little bit more bumpy. You can do that, or you can keep it smooth. It's whatever you like. It is a very whimsical design, so make it however you want it. And I will be turning this canvas around to get these areas painted in. So this branch runs right off the canvas. I really want my tree to be more smooth. So I'm going to go back over. I'm just going to smooth that out. Okay. I'm going to go right. Now, if you wanted this heart to be in front of the tree, you would just go around it like this. And then you can erase that little pencil line. So that's up to you. I was designing this one so that most of the hearts would be in the back, but then when I saw how that one laid, I kind of like it in the front. We'll see. Let's see how we feel about it when we develop more of this. All right. You know what? I'm not liking it. I'm going right over it. There. Okay. So I'm just going to keep turning my canvas so I can get in an angle that I like for moving my brush. While I have it turned this way, I'll go ahead and get this side of the tree painted. I'm envisioning some hearts down on the ground too, so we will get those added in. I just want to see how this tree works out. So let's go ahead and get this branch. We're going to come in here and create a dip like the letter U or the letter V, but it is rounded. Come up, smoothing out any little lumps that I see, and I'm going to come up and follow this line that I drew and come down. Now when we do branches, you want to remember that the ends of the branches get much thinner. They're much thinner there than they are where they come out of the tree. If you make a branch super wide and you just end it flat, it has a tendency to look like the branch has been cut, like someone was out in the woods and just kind of sawed off the limb. So you want to make sure you narrow it out and you get up on the end of your brush. Smooth out some of those lumps. If you leave any pencil lines showing, you can bring your brush back in like this and get it covered, or you can erase it once your painting is dry. So you always want to use a pencil that you can easily erase, or chalk. A lot of people do like chalk as well. All right. So I'm going to switch to my smaller flat brush. I'm going to come in. It's a little bit of a tighter area here. And I have this branch just working over the hearts. So that's just the big canopy of the tree. Okay. The hearts aren't necessarily hanging off of the limbs. They're just the background leaves. So I'm going to come in here and go ahead and create another branch. Let's make that run right off the canvas. I like that a lot. And from here, I'm going to create some other larger limbs as well. Let's go ahead and put a little branch, oops, a little branch here. Okay. All right. And I'm going to create one off of here. So I have my brush coming up, and I'm just going to go ahead and create another branch that goes up. And we're going to run that one right off the canvas also. And again, we're going to make it thicker where it comes out of the tree. So for me, it's easier to turn this around and come at this from this side. How are we doing there? It's kind of a lot of paint right there, so I have to try to get that picked up. Okay. Create another branch here. And let's see, I want to keep the branches simple. So we're going to come in here and just maybe add one more. Okay. Okay, so now we can go ahead and we can take our round brush and some black paint, and we can come in and do some curlicues. So I'm going to put my brush here in the branch and I'm going to come out. Honestly, it's really hard to do that slowly. So I'm going to do it a little quicker. Always add a little bit of water to your brush when you want to do some curlicues or fine lines. So I'm going to come back, because I didn't have quite enough water in my brush, I'm going to come back and kind of repaint that. I want my point to be nice. And it has some ragged edges, so I'm going to come in. Try to get those nice and smooth. Alright, that's good. So I'm going to make some curlicues on our branches. Okay. Then we're going to come in with a lot of little hearts. Okay. This one I've decided to kind of round out a little bit. All right. I'm going to wash that brush. I'm going to take my small flat brush again, and we're going to make a bunch of hearts, a bunch of little hearts. And then this one would be cute with a saying here if you want. You know, you can make this for Valentine's Day or for any day. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to brighten up. I'm going to put kind of another layer on some of these hearts that are a little more transparent than I want to see them. And I'm leaving more white on this one. I'm just going to leave it kind of unblended. I'm going to do the same thing here. It's kind of a mix of white and a little bit of the pink, the phthalo red. And I'm just going to go ahead and brush it and leave it on top like that. And I'm going to keep doing that. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing just a tiny bit of the reddish, well, phthalo red, which is pink, a little bit of white, and I'm going to come in. I want more white than that because I want it lighter than the rest of the heart. And I'm just going to gently, not really tap, but just sort of tap and blend. Do the same thing over here. More white. So I'm going in the center and I'm not going right to the edges. Okay, just kind of leaving it more as a highlight. This is a deeper pink, so I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to add a little bit more pink to my mix. I'm going to come in and a bit more white. Add a little of Now for the darker hearts, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a little bit of that burgundy color and going to add just a little bit of white. I'm going to come in and add some highlight in there. Now again, this is just whimsy. I'm not concerning myself with a light source or anything. I'm just kind of playing and having a little bit of fun here. Again, to make the burgundy, we took the red and the burnt umber. And maybe a tiny bit of white for the highlight one. And let's see. This one over here, I'm going to come in and just kind of gently tap a little bit. Same thing here. Just having some fun, putting in a little bit of light, a little bit of highlight. Okay. Just see how that goes. So I have a pink one here that I want to add a little bit to also. I'm going to take my round brush for that one. And again, some pink and white. Just a lighter value than the heart that I want to add to. And I'm just going to come in. A little bit more pink on that. All right. A little bit on this one. Where it peeks up out of the branch. If it gets a little too bright, you can go back in with some of your base color and just kind of tap that in too. And of course, as it dries, your highlights do tend to fade into your background a little bit. All right. So now I'm going to take the small flat and I'm going to clean that out. We're going to make some small leaves now. So I want to do some of the bright red. So I'm just going to put the red paint on my brush, and then I'm going to use the corner of my brush to come in like this and make a heart. Okay? So everywhere where I want to just add a little bit of filler, I'm going to come in and create a little heart. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this all around. Okay. And we can come in and fix the edges with our round brush after. I'm going to make some more burgundy. Again, brown and red. You can add just a tiny bit of black. And we're going to come in and do some burgundy. I'm going to keep turning it around. There we go. And I have to come in with my other brush and create points on those. Okay, so let's take a look. And get some more pink and white. I want these to look like soft little leaves. Oh, so this is nice. If you grab your color and you don't really clean your brush in between, you'll have a little bit of the previous color in your brush, and it makes like a variegated look. So I like that a lot. All right, how about just some bright pink? Okay, I refer to it as pink, but it's actually phthalo red. I'm going to let some overlap like that. I like that a lot. It's coming out cute. I have a tendency to kind of lose my center here. I have kind of a tight spot here where my cameras are set up, and I try my best to get it right up under the camera for you sometimes, like this. All right, so I'm going to go with just the phthalo red, just the brighter pinky color. I'm going to make some more hearts. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I'm going to let one be half on and half off the tree there. So I'm loading my brush and I'm letting it have more than one color on it at a time, whatever's left in it from the last heart and whatever new color that I come in and grab. So just playing with the reds, the burgundies, the pinks, and let them overlap one another a bit. So I'm going to add some white to my brush. And I really do like letting the hearts overlap one another a bit like this. We want these to just look like cute little leaves. I'm going to put a lot of white on my brush now, and let's go ahead and get some whites in there. I want to turn it upside down because I don't want all my hearts to be in the same direction. So you can see the quicker you do your brush stroke, the easier it is. So you can practice on a piece of paper. Let's see, let's do an upside down here. All right. Grab a little white. Okay, so as you can see, I wasn't concerned about these hearts hanging off of a branch. That's not how I was thinking for this, but you can certainly do that if you prefer. I'm just looking at it as a canopy of heart-shaped leaves. So I'm going to come in and I want a ton of them. I just decided to add a little bit of chrome orange to my deep red, because I had started the video with that, and it's because I wanted to add some super bright ones too. So let's see how we like this. And I'm going to do some sideways. So these I'm letting touch the branches. Okay, I'm adding a little bit of white to my orange, getting a peachy look. I do like the addition of that color. Again, this is your creation, so you do you. Okay, I'm adding a little bit of the pink to the orange. Kind of playing with that. Maybe a little bit of white, and let's see what we come up with. All right, where else would you like to see some hearts? I think I'm almost done, but at least with the tree part. Okay. And we need one going sideways, I think. Okay, so here on the ground, you might want some ground cover that looks like some of the leaves have fallen. And you could definitely do some big ones down here too if you wanted. But I think I'm just going to take some of the random colors and come in. I'm going to clean this brush. It's getting a little bit of thick with paint. And start with a fresh load. So let's play with all these different colors. I'm going to take some of the red and a little bit of white on it. And come in and just make some bigger, some smaller. We definitely want to change direction. Okay, because if these are falling from the tree, they're going to fall in different directions. Okay. You can come in with our round pointed brush and fix these too. Let's see, how about some, let's go super light. Turn some sideways. Okay, so this is your ground cover. Let's grab some burgundy and red. And don't be afraid, let's just put some that maybe half of it fell and the other half is still falling. Grab some white, lots of white on my brush. Ooh, ooh, that's pretty. So that had some pink in it and I just tipped in a little white and we got a variegated heart there. I like that a lot. I'm just going to come in and I'm gonna squirt out a little bit more white. I use a lot of white. I think it's probably one of my #1 colors. Okay, let's grab some white. There's still some pink in my brush. Really love that. So what should we call this tree? I'm going to think about that before I post it. All right. A little bit of orange. All right. All right, take a look. You can add more branches if you want. You can come in and any of the hearts that don't have a pointed enough bottom for your liking, you can go ahead and here I'll show you. Take some color. If you want to, like let's see, this one here didn't get a really great point. I have paint all in my cuticles. Do you do that? Paint in my cuticles. Always painting. Okay. So you can come back in and you can add points if you didn't get any. And I kind of like having a little highlight like that. So let's go ahead and do that on some of these. So I'm using a lot of white in my brush and plus some of the color of the heart. And I'm just going to come in and kind of strengthen that little point at the bottom. So you can just go all around randomly and do that. You can add a little bit of a different color, whatever's in your brush. I like to just really play with all the colors and just let it develop and just have fun. This is a really fun, simple design. No stress. I'm going to add a little bit of color here. So I could just sit here probably for another hour and just keep playing with this. So that's what you want to do. You want to just kind of relax and enjoy the process. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to finish this tutorial here. Feel free to comment. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will be uploading every week in lots of different designs and various painting levels. This one's super simple for beginners. I hope you enjoyed it. Have yourself a wonderful day.